What up, though, everybody? It's your girl, Jess G.
And it's your girl, Tashi.
And we're back with another episode of the What Up, Though podcast.
Ooh.
Insert clap, because we're not in the studio for this one. What up, though? What up, though? What up, though? What up, though?
Hype, you ain't got to look so unenthused.
Right. Guess what?
I'm trying to be professional.
We got a new co-host in the virtual building. What's your name?
Up, y'all?
What's your sign?
This is Hype from the How to Hustle podcast. When Hype, you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at I am Hype. That's HYMPE. It's Hype. It's not Hype. I'm not geeked up.
He's not geeked up. Go on and give him the rundown.
Custom Hustle World. If you are watching on, I'm saying, the YouTube video right now, you can see this is a Custom Hustle hoodie that I got on. Custom Hustle World on Instagram and Twitter. That is my clothing line. Custom baseball jerseys, custom basketball jerseys actually in now too. Jackets, t-shirts, whatever you need, we can customize the situation. And that H2H Cleaning is my cleaning company too, on Instagram only.
Period.
I'm also available on all streaming platforms. If you search my name, Hype, that's HYMPE, you can actually Google me. I only accept 5 stars though, not 4. What's up, ladies?
He said what he
What
said.
up, though?
What up, though? This is the long-awaited Hype on What Up, Though podcast, because he found us. Let's start there.
He didn't find us. I found him.
You found him. No, you didn't.
She followed me. She followed me, and I hit everybody with a link. I tell all the chicks, I'm always in your DMs when I'm not shooting at you. I'm married happily. I sent her the link. She sent me the link. This was actually my baby. It was her birthday, so this was almost a year ago. Because we was on our way to like Sesame Place or something.
When I started taking over the page.
And I started listening. That was when I told y'all, whoever was eating the soup, shouts out to you. And y'all was talking about that on the episode.
That's when we was really thugging it out. We was at the kitchen table. We had the kids crying.
That's how everybody start.
Interrupted.
Yeah, that's how everybody start. You listen back to them old episodes, you be like, damn, these was rough. You be swearing you be killing them though in the beginning.
I listened to an old episode and she was like, I'll never listen to that episode ever.
It's the most. I hate that episode. And it was about fucking Kevin Samuels. I hate that episode.
We used the Kevin
Man,
Samuels.
RIP.
And it all went to hell from there.
So
I hate that.
This is not a part of the agenda at all, but literally breaking news like yesterday. I started seeing it like early evening, but I had only seen it from one source. I'm like, I don't know, this could be a rumor. But then throughout the night, it kept circulating that Kevin Samuels actually died. And I was like, damn, like, I don't wish death on nobody. Like, dying to me is, I was telling Tashi earlier, like, I just feel like it's a lot of death just everywhere. Like, every time I get on Instagram, it's like teen killed, mom stabbed, person shot. And I'm like, I'm ready to even get off of social media because every time I get on here, it's some kind of violent act or murder or suicide.
I do all of that, and then I'll turn on and watch true crime all fucking night to go to sleep too.
The sad part is that's how Philly been the last couple of years. We done broke the number for murders the last 2 years.
That's crazy.
So shit, all you got to do is you hear about 3 different situations, they'll all be the same.
Turn it on the news.
Y'all need to move.
I mean, we're working on it.
Detroit.
We ain't far.
But yeah,
right.
I ain't really had too much to say about Kevin Samuel's situation. I ain't watch his lives and none of that. I think I might have checked in with 1 or 2. Just somebody told me, look at this, and it wasn't my cup of tea. Is all I say. I ain't pretty much agree with things that he was saying on the 1 or 2. Like I said, that I watched. I wasn't a frequent, subscriber or nothing. But rest in peace.
Rest in peace to that man.
Sorry to that man.
That is.
I bet. I'm trying to get y'all.
It's very sad. I don't ever want to. I have probably said terrible things about that man, but I do not speak. Well, I'm not gonna say I don't speak ill of the dead because this. Never mind. I won't speak ill about that man. because it's never like fun to hear about somebody dying. I feel like that's never happy news. It's kind of wild that people like feel so strongly about his opinions that they wanted him dead. And it's also men out here who are like they're so upset that women are happy about him dying that they're like threatening to kill the women, like
What?
losing their fucking minds about him dying
See,
I
because
can't get
they
into
see,
followed
I
that.
ain't
him so strongly. It was like a cult.
see, I ain't like scary about death type person. Uh, so when somebody die and you hear about it, initially we all go like, "Damn, that's crazy." But
Hmm.
especially like if it's somebody like you talking about as an influencer in the public light, and you know that that's just gonna lead to somebody gonna take it too far. Somebody's gonna make a joke about it, and that's just kind of is what it is. But like, even if I don't like somebody, it'd be like, damn, you find out that they die. It ain't even really so much about them. It's like all the things that around them, the kids, the family. You know that there's a mom, a cousin, an aunt, or somebody who has some hurt on them.
Still here,
So
I
hurting.
yeah,
seen the Shade Room posted how his mom hadn't heard the news, so she literally found out her son was dead on
and that's
social,
bad. Yeah,
and that is sad. Like his own, like he still, I don't know. We all human. I'm not saying I necessarily agree with his. It wasn't even his views. It was his approach. But like I told Tashi earlier, I'm like, it's not like the women wasn't calling on there for him
right.
to
I
talk
mean, yeah,
about it.
you was signing up for the abuse when you decided to get on the
Right.
live.
You knew
Like,
what it was. But yeah, rest in peace, Kevin Samuels. It's definitely unfortunate. I feel like it literally just happened before we started recording this, so it's really not a lot of information on it yet. So I definitely don't want to speak on it too much. But I feel like by the time this come out or within the
then it'll
next
be
week or two,
yeah.
we definitely gonna know like the real story of what happened. Um, all right.
This
So
what I was looking up though before we start. Episode 25 of the How to Hustle podcast and episode 51 of the two episodes that I had the ladies of What Up Though on with me.
Mm,
dang, what
mm.
episode you on now?
64 was out this week.
Okay,
Episode 64 is out this week.
all right. So we always start with stay woke. So oh shoot, hold on. Yeah,
Oh Lord,
I'm not using my usual
she
tools.
she used to having her phone in
Yeah, I'm
hand.
used to having my phone, so I don't have
So
the.
that is at Custom Hustle World on
There you
Instagram
go.
and
Still in the
Twitter.
phone.
You know what I'm
Yeah, keep
saying?
going.
At Custom Hustle World on Instagram and Twitter. You got a baby? I do baby jackets, sweatsuits, all of that love. You know what I'm saying?
I'll get my baby an outfit.
Get my baby one too.
Okay.
Also, free wristbands with any purchase made from Custom Hustle World.
Yes.
Let me see. Where one of them baby jackets? I just had one. I just did. I can't find it.
Okay, so for stay woke this week, um, so we've been following the George
Uh,
Floyd
Oh, that's so
case
cute.
since the beginning, since it happened.
uh,
The
this
whole
sucker
reason
ass
we
nigga.
started doing Stay Woke was because rest in peace, George Floyd. So, update on the Derek Chauvin case. A federal judge accepted a plea deal that will sentence former Minneapolis police officer Derek Chauvin between 20 and 25 years in prison for violating the rights of George Floyd, whose murder in 2020 was followed by mass protests. Um, Basically, he was previously sentenced to 22 and a half years in prison in a separate trial for murdering George Floyd. He's basically appealing that 22 and a half years, where he doesn't feel he should serve that much time. So they took it to a federal court, which is separate from the court case he did before. And now the judge accepted the plea deal for him to serve 20 to 25 years.
Well,
Um,
nah, they gonna run them. They gonna run them together. So basically, he got two different sentences, but they gonna run them together. So it's the same amount of time that he already had. It's
I
just
think
semantics, basically.
Yeah, I think that he could maybe possibly get 2.5 years less if he serves the
That's like
minimum
best case
20.
scenario.
Right. That's how I read it. Am I wrong?
I mean, well, he gonna get the best case scenario because you're not gonna have him in population. You got him in population, somebody gonna kill him. So he's gonna get good behavior because he's not gonna be in the situation where he's with everybody.
Right.
He gonna be isolated to himself where, like, unless you killing yourself or harming yourself, it ain't no way for you to have bad behavior. So they gonna let him slide as early as
Damn, but
possible.
suicide count as bad behavior in jail?
Which is, I mean, you by yourself, ain't nobody for you to mess with. Like, ain't nothing for
Dang.
you to do.
You get in
He
trouble
probably
for
20.
yourself?
He probably 23-1. Though then again, it might be a whole different situation for him. You never know because he's a cop. You never know how they feel about him.
Yeah.
But his jail time would be as easy as possible for him, especially
Um,
if you get a TV and all of that.
so I don't know if you remember when all of these protests and stuff was going on and the Black Lives Matter movement was real heavy. Um, Terry Crews, he just would not shut up. He basically was a all lives matter type of nigga. And he used to get dragged on social media about his tweets about feeling like black people shouldn't be mad and outraged at the things that are happening to black people. So I was listening to the Breakfast Club yesterday, Saucy Santana interview. It was pretty good. I was listening to the Breakfast Club and Angela Yee had played this clip of how Terry Crews was apologizing for the shit he done said 2 years ago.
Because you ain't seen him in nothing since them 2 years.
But I wanted to play that.
Reconciliation for the black community first, then the world as a whole. Now, Terry Crews is saying that he wants to apologize. He was on The Daily Show with Trevor Noah yesterday. And
because it's our country. We died.
I was wondering.
Because.
Oh, Lord.
I don't know what you recorded.
I don't know what I recorded either. Well,
I don't have a problem with people who go all lives matter. Now, when you saying all lives do matter, but all lives can't matter if the black ones don't.
Right.
And because
we're not
obviously,
talking about all lives. We're talking about black lives.
well, not it's one of them things where it's like we want inclusion, so let's not exclude them people when it's their turn. We always want inclusion on things, but we can't exclude them when it comes to this. But if we having a conversation about Black Lives Matter and you throw all lives matter in there, all lives don't matter equally and the same. Because the situation, like you said, with George Floyd, if that was a black cop on a white man's neck, he's getting life in the chair. He's not getting 20 to 25 or 23 years or nothing like that.
Right.
That's the situation where all lives are not mattering equally. Is because
but I think
time and time again, they keep letting these people off for killing these people.
But I would think that that's the point of Black Lives Matter. Like that was the whole point of this black man died at the hands of the police and his life did not matter and doesn't matter to a lot of white people.
I mean, and it was on top of a bunch of different situations too. Like Breonna Taylor was around that time.
Yeah.
Ahmaud Arbery was around that time. People just started popping up being hung in LA.
2019, 2020. It was a wild time. If you really think about 2020, on top of the pandemic, it was so many black people who were being killed by other white people and the police.
The crazy part about that though is it was so crazy 2020 that in like 40 years when they start teaching about it in school and you was like really there and can vividly remember it all, it's gonna be the same stories like your mom, your grandma, your aunts and uncles was telling you about when the 60s when this happened and that happened with Martin Luther King. Because it started to turn around and be the same situation.
Literally the same. Well, I will hope our kids don't experience that, but shit, you never know.
Yeah, let's pray for them babies is what I always say because these things is getting crazy out here.
But that was my stay woke.
Stay woke.
Baby. I think about that joint every time y'all do stay woke.
I thought you was about to keep going.
I don't know the
words.
That's all I had. I had
one. Creeping.
Oh yeah.
I had one bar.
Stay woke. I need to sing over that part. Stay woke.
Sounds like we know somebody's jam.
Oh,
We know
I need
somebody's
to
jam of the
listen to
week.
the song. So who want to introduce this topic? You?
No,
You can do it. No.
But what is it? Give me my phone.
Oh my God. We talked about this last night.
Did we?
It's in a text message.
Oh, okay. So this was your topic idea.
Yes.
So what were we talking about when we came up? We must have been talking something about parents, bless you. Something about parents when we were talking about you had said something about how like people are I think you were talking about women in general. How women and their moms have these like weird relationships.
Yes. Signs of a toxic relationship. That was actually last week on How to Hustle Podcast with Hype, episode 63. Available on all streaming platforms.
That was a good episode. I listened to
Why, thank you. We only accept 5 stars now, not 4. So I forgot which episode that was because it was a while ago where we was talking about it on Instagram, and you was like, you should do that kind of episode to talk about like the toxic relationships with moms and daughters, and I was like, I think it'd be better to come from
Oh,
y'all, but it's you are like the second or third person that had mentioned that to me, so
yeah.
I'm like, there's an episode there.
You had said something to somebody on the episode, and I was like, "That's definitely a thing."
it.
Mhm.
Moms being jealous of their daughters was.
Yes. Okay. Yes. 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 I remember that now.
Yeah, so like a couple of different females that I had conversations with told me like, yeah, yeah, that's a real thing. And I'm like, I ain't never know that because on the male aspect, like my dad passed when I was 22, but like we never had like a competition situation. He tried to get out there and guard me one day. I had a fadeaway on him, whole block saw it. But we wasn't never like competing to be the man, like or in competition about I'm doing this and now I'll get a sense of like jealousy or I don't think that you are a good mom or I don't think that you really know what you're doing to have a family type of thing. And that's really like the sense that I get from girls when you had those conversations with them about their moms. Like it's always a constantly we just butt heads
Yeah.
until you get to a point where like you like now she just needs you type thing. And she glosses over completely the fact that she treated you like shit, but she treats the kids great.
Mm.
Like, but like I said, I kind of think that that's just like that they can't really accept the fact that you're an adult and that you have decisions to make. They still thinking about you as a child when it's like,
Mhm.
hey, mom, I got a husband. If you're a woman, I got a husband and 2, 3 kids and a
Right.
mortgage and a career. And like, I got it figured out at this point. Like, I'm not still that 15-year-old who was trying to sneak out the house.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it kind of goes back to, don't quote me because I don't know, but one of them damn theorists, it's not Freud, I don't think, but one of them had a theory that like you have a attraction to your opposite sex parent, and sometimes it makes you like have a hateful relationship toward the same sex parent, and they have that towards you. Now, the way that moms feel about daughters, I'm not sure if it's the same, but I feel like if there's any like truth to there being some kind of like something towards your opposite sex parent, then that would translate that way too.
I think. Go ahead.
Is it like a sense of like maybe that they resent you because they see their youth in you and they
I
see all the mistakes
part
and all the things that they didn't get to do or the things that they did wrong? And it's like, I don't want you to do that. I don't want you to go that way, but I don't really know how to express to you that this is what it is. I don't know
sometimes
how to.
they say even that they want the best for you though, and that's the sad part. Like I feel like that's the part that a lot of men don't necessarily see is that a lot of women don't. Women are very well,
Competitive with each other.
they're competitive, but they're petty. Like I feel like there's a lot of things that some women are just like hateful towards their daughters for. And I do feel like a lot of it is seeing yourself in you. Like, that is driving you crazy, huh? I feel like a lot of it is seeing yourself. Because a lot of people hate when they see themselves in anybody. So seeing that in your child is like worst case scenario. And if you have that hate towards yourself, I feel like it comes back out and it's perceived as like, or like a person you feel like you used to be, and you see your child being that person. You don't know how to guide your younger self to to do better
It's
and the
because
best.
it's hard to be honest in them. It's hard to be honest in the moments when you see those things.
Mm-hmm.
It's so many different mom scenarios because there are mother and daughters that have good relationships.
Mm-hmm.
We're not saying it don't exist. I think what y'all saying maybe is more relatable for you. For me, my mother did not grow up in a two-parent household. So let's start there. Although she's married and only has been married one time and is still married, she grew up with a single mother and no father. My mom doesn't know who her dad is. So imagine raising children with a person who is a father that had a father with no mother. My grandmother, my dad's mother, died when he was 4. So I feel like I just got the worst of the worst possible parent combo because I got a dad who did not have a mother and I have a mother who did not have a father. So they don't know what it's like to grow up in a household and raise children with these other parents that and be those parents that they never had. So I'm close to my dad, and my mom would. I mean, I'm not gonna say. I don't want to say my mom was jealous, but I know my mom felt a way about the relationship I had with my dad because she would make comments when I got older, like, "You're trying to break up my marriage," or
Exactly
"You're trying to drive us apart," because
I don't even feel like my mom was like that.
Because I talked to my dad,
That's the
and
toxic, man.
to me, I'm like, this is my dad. Like, what do you mean? I went behind your back. I talked to my dad, but she did not grow up with a father. And when it came to my dad, when there was conflict with my mom or my brother and my mom, he stayed completely out of it because he did not grow up with a mother. He grew up with a stepmother, and that's what his dad did. His dad did not intervene in between the stepmother and the stepkids. So they
So
felt like
this
they
is
got treated like shit, basically, in layman's terms. But even though that was my grandfather's wife, he never interfered with her disciplining the children. And that's how my dad was when it came to my mom and us.
see these situations. The problems be we never want to admit it's a problem, especially the generation that was 2 generations ago. Nothing was ever a problem. Grandpa told you he was going out for pack and smokes, and that nigga moved cross town and started a whole nother family. And we gonna keep acting like nothing was ever wrong in these
Mhm.
situations. So when anybody's like, that's not even just personalize it to our own situations. Well, because I came from a 2 parent household. My mom and my dad was together from the '60s until he passed. So we use anybody's household that came from a broken situation. The first step is to admit that your situation is broken. If there's a hole in your game that I grew up without a mom, then there's certain things I'm not going to be able to understand and do. So that means I need to go lean to an aunt or a neighbor or a teacher or somebody to get what it is that I'm supposed to give my kids that I can't do because I'm not a woman. Same situation for the man. I mean, for the woman who grew up without the dad, she has to realize that you can't be dad. You're not a man. It's not possible. Same way I can't be mom. I'm not a woman. It's not possible. You got to then lean to uncle, cousin, neighbor, whoever that other individual could be to like fill in those gaps and those holes so that once the kids do grow up, you don't grow up to resent your kids. Because like you said, you talking to your dad. Like, how are you mad at me because I have a dad and you didn't? Like, that doesn't make sense.
Crazy.
That's beyond toxic. Like, that's just like, I don't even know what to describe that as. But it all starts with us admitting it from the beginning, like, yo, look, we got a problem here, and this is what we're going to do to fix the problem. That's why you need to have these conversations before you just have kids with people.
And unfortunately, it just streamed from our grandparents didn't have the mental knowledge that our parents, I feel like our parents and grandparents, mental health and acknowledging mental health and toxic and anxiety, those words didn't exist to them. we
This is another thing. Wait, hey, Jess, this is another thing you got to understand too. Remember, like, back in them generations, people dropped out. Like, my grandma dropped out in the 6th grade.
Mhm.
So, like,
You didn't
recognizing
need
all of these
education.
different things, you couldn't recognize all those things because you didn't know enough to recognize all of those different things.
Right.
They also weren't being taught that way though. It's so much more of a wide like range of education. Just like in us having social media, every other post on our timeline can be something about mental health. People thought the mental health meant that you're fucking crazy back in the day.
And honestly, our generation is really just now getting on the mental health train. But now our kids, they're going to be so much more in touch with their mental health and their feelings because they're being taught and exposed to it at such an early age. Noelle is 2, and she can come to you and say, I'm sad, I'm mad, or you hurt my feelings. And us as kids, we're not that old. We weren't telling our parents, you hurt my feelings when you said that. Kennedy will come to me and be like, you really hurt my feelings saying that, or that really upset me how you did this. We didn't say that, even us, and we're not even that old. I never went to my dad and was like, Dad, you really hurt my feelings when you said XYZ. We didn't even do it.
See, the mental health situation be tricky because you got somebody who's really it's nothing ever going to be more it's nothing going to ever be louder than the voice in your own head, whether that be self-doubt, whether that be low self-esteem, whether that be like you kill yourself before you even like you say I want to start a makeup line, but you say that ain't gonna work, you stupid, you ain't gonna be like you do all that to yourself before you even get there. Nobody else is going to be able to help that goes on internally. So for the person who really has that situation, I feel bad for her. The problem now is that everybody just leans to it. As soon as anybody has a bad day, they go, oh no, it's my mental health. And it's nothing that really you can say to it. It's nothing you can really help them with there. So it becomes like a crutch. So it's like the person who really has that problem, who really has bad anxiety and can't be around a lot of people, I feel bad for that person because how many of those people now that has become a thing that everybody says is going to slip through the cracks when they really dealing with it. And this other person is just lazy and just doesn't want to do it. They're just trying to get out of it.
Yeah, that it definitely makes sense. I get what you're saying, but I feel like a lot of times the voice in your head is your parents. Like all of that shit starts somewhere. Yeah. And that voice, that internal dialogue comes from it's rooted in how you were raised.
It's not just your parents, it's whoever's the influence.
Yes, it's whoever is the person in your life who is giving you direction.
Like we talked about this last week on the episode where it was your parents could have came from a 2-parent household with a white picket fence, but you love going over your cousin's house who live at the projects, and there's always chaos. Your parents could have been showing you the right way the whole time, but you in love with this. So the voice in your head is this shit that you can't even really relate to.
Right.
So like, let's not always just throw that one to the parents. It's whoever you look up to and then let be the influence on you, because your influence could be whoever the hell is on TV and whatever show you watch, whatever songs you listen to. Like they can influence your whole way of thinking.
I was raised by a lot of people, but the voices that I remember the most are the negative voices that I heard from my parents. And I feel like a lot of times that negative stuff just sticks more. So prayerfully, a lot of people do have good influences, whether it's their parents or not, where that is the voice that sticks. But I feel like a lot of times as a kid, you believe the most fucked up thing because it's like, shit, even as an adult, you do that. A lot of people have an issue like differentiating between their negative and positive thoughts. And I don't know. I feel like we have more information now to make sure that like the voice, if it is us in our kids' head, I hope that my daughter's voice in her head is me, because I feel like I put a lot of positivity into her. Now, I'm not no perfect parent and I fuck up and say shit, but I feel like I feel like for the most part,
perfect.
I allow her to express herself in a way that a lot of parents don't have the patience or capacity for it. And as she gets older, I mean, I'm getting older too. We're growing up together, and it's just me and her. But I hope that is the voice and all the positive voices around her, even if it's not just me. I hope that it's all positivity. But you have to be careful who you have your kids around.
Absolutely. My daughters ain't spending the night at nobody's house.
Mm-mm. That part. Also, I wasn't talking about my situation when I was talking about being attracted to you. The opposite sex parents. That's not my situation.
I had ran into your dad at the barbershop.
A lot of times, and again, I was raised in a 2-parent, more so Christian household. And I think it's very common for the mother to be the disciplinarian, especially of the oldest children and the oldest daughter. And I was the oldest and I was the daughter. So a lot of the disciplinary acts came from my mom, as opposed to my dad, who was at work all the time and wasn't really home to know what the hell was going on for real. So, of course, if you getting in trouble by the same person all the time, the other parent kind of look like the saint
They the
because
relief. Yeah.
I mean, it's like, or the fun parent. A lot of parents that co-parent and the child lives with the mom, but the dad is still around, and you always doing fun things with the dad. Every time I go to my dad's house, we going to the movies, we going to McDonald's, we going to Chuck E. Cheese, because you're a weekend parent. However, my mom is the disciplinarian. She's the one getting me off to school, making sure I did my homework, having me clean my room. So yeah, that other parent is fun because
They don't have
they
to
the
discipline
weekend
you.
parent. You have fun on the weekends.
I mean, that's pretty much any relationship. Like, if you got a girl at home and then you got something on the side, the chick on the side is fun because it's all fun.
I'm
There's
like,
no responsibility.
essentially, it's a
Yeah,
side parent.
there's no responsibility there. Like, you don't have to deal with the day to day. But even in them situations where you got a co-parent, that's why y'all gotta be on this. Y'all gotta be, even we can hate each other, but it gotta be about that baby. We gotta make sure that we speak in the same language to the baby. We can disagree once we're on the phone, but we can't disagree in front of them. We
Mhm.
can't have you in trouble because you woke up late 3 days this week to go to school, but then when you go over here for the weekend, now
You got
y'all down at the
your
water park.
PS5 and
Yeah,
whatever
we
else.
get we got to be on an even accord here. Like, it's not about trying to be the fun parent or trying to be a friend to your kids. You gotta be a parent. You have to do whatever is best for them in that situation. But the one thing, like, you can't ever forget is, don't forget what it was like when you was 8, or when you was 9, or when you was 6. And remember how you felt when this happened or that happened with your parent. Because now that the tables turned, you had no concept of that at 6 because you ain't had no life experiences. You didn't have the stress of dealing with any damn thing. You couldn't see none of that. You didn't know what it took to keep the lights on. You just knew when I hit the switch, they came on. But as
Mhm.
the parent, you know what it takes to get through all of that, but you also know at the same time what it's like to be the kid. So, like, you can't ever get so caught up in parent, disciplinary, stern, that you don't have any, like, yet and still I am going to be the influence on this person and I'm going to shape them. I'm going to be majority of the things that shapes this person's mind, views on the world, religion, what they eat, what they drink. Like, you're going to be all of that. So you don't try to always just be so on them. Like, you got
Mhm.
to have some times where let's just go get a damn popsicle or something. Like,
Right. One thing I had, so this was supposed to be to turn into all kind of so many topics in this one topic. But one thing I had wanted to touch on, because it is Mother's Day in a couple days. So I wanted to talk about
sure is.
good and bad. Good and bad. What are some good qualities you got from your mom or parent, or some bad qualities you feel like you got from your mom, and what qualities do you want to instill in your kids?
First of all, happy Mother's Day, ladies. Everybody knew Mother's Day was on the 8th. Good qualities I got from my mom. It's kind of like the gift and the curse type of thing, where you care too much. It's good that you care, but it's also bad that you care. So
Mhm.
when Jess calls you and she got a problem, now you on the phone trying to tackle this problem for Jess. But then Taj call you and now you're trying to tackle this problem for Tachi. And now when that, like, it's a never ending situation when you're always the one that answers the phone. So because I watched her do that forever, then once my dad and my uncle passed, let's say like 6, 8 months apart, they were like the two guys in the family. Once they were gone, there was a void there for who the hell is going to be that person. At 22, I shouldn't have been the one stepping into that, but it is what it is. So because I watched my mom do it that way for years, it was like, this is just what you do. This is what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to look out for this one. This one is short on the cable bill. You're supposed to help them out. Like, whatever the situation is, you're supposed to look out for your family and make sure that everybody's cool. That's what I said. It's like a good and a bad type of thing. Because now, once I got my own family, I got my own responsibilities outside of just myself. And it's like, you calling me again about you niggas didn't pay the cable bill? Or like, you need
Right.
a ride to school, or you need this, or you need that. And it's like, it's a thing where people can use it against you. And either you recognize it or you don't, because you could go 40 years and be like, you never knew that, that was going on. Or you can go 3 years and be like, all right, these niggas keep calling me and I ain't gonna keep answering this phone.
Right.
So that's definitely what I got from her.
How do you instill that in your kids, or what what qualities do you want to pass on from that to your kids?
I want them to understand that it's perfectly fine for you to care. It's perfectly fine for you to go above and beyond for the people and the things that you love. But you also have to make sure that you don't stretch yourself so thin that you don't have time for you in that situation. You still have to prioritize you, because nobody else prioritizes you if you don't. If you don't make it important that you're off today and you're not doing anything, if you continue to answer the phone to do shit on this day where you said I ain't gonna do it, then that day is no longer an off day. It's the same as any other Tuesday, Wednesday, or whatever day it is. So like, it's cool to be there, but also understand that you are still important in this situation. And it took me a lot of trial and error for me to realize, like, damn, this nigga was really using me. Like,
Mm-hmm.
any of those different situations. But eventually you get there, hopefully.
Right. You next.
What good trait I got from Sister Pam? My mom, she ain't lazy. I tell you that. My mom is very hardworking. She definitely instilled a work ethic in me and my brother. We both had jobs. When we turned 16, she was like, y'all gonna learn how to drive and y'all gonna get a job because I'm not trying to drive y'all around and y'all need to have your own money. Definitely. So I would say I definitely took that from my mom. Um, a negative trait I got from my mom. Hmm. Let me think. My mom, uh, I mean, she was kind of mean sometimes. When I
So
look
you
back,
mean
I don't think that she was. I think she had mean moments because her mom was mean to her. So again, just growing up in that
that's what
environment
got
where
normalized to her? Yeah.
right. So my mom was the oldest daughter of 7 kids. And then my grandmother also took in a cousin. So it was 8 kids in the house. And at 8 or 9 years old, my mom was the main person watching all of these kids and caring for these kids and cooking while her mother was at work. And even though I only had one sibling, that was me. Once I turned 9 or 10, it was washing everybody laundry, bathrooms, vacuum, bedrooms, literally everything, any chore. All my parents did was come home. They may cook a meal, but outside of that, they're all chores pretty much fell on me. And if those chores weren't done to the caliber of what she felt like they should be, then I was getting in trouble, whether it be a whooping or on punishment. On top of you can't have no C's, not even on a progress report card. So I kind of felt like my parents were strict to a certain degree, and I feel like that's the negative traits. I felt like they were so strict on the dumbest stuff that they didn't need to be strict on. And what I want to instill in Kennedy, um, kind of the same what you said. Like you can be caring, but don't and you can be nice, but don't let people take advantage of you. And even when she be coming home with her little, we call it the third grade tea. When she be telling us about what's going on in the third grade
My
class,
daughter in the third grade too.
yeah, when we when we talk about the third grade tea, I'll tell her like, girl, nah, you don't need to be talking about people or you don't need to be saying this. But it's a hard mix because she'd come home upset like they were talking about me. I'm like, girl, you need to learn how to roast them. So we was practicing roasting in the car. And then the other day she was like, yeah, I was roasting such and such. But now I'm like, all right, girl, too far. You just got to do it in defense. You ain't got to just be roasting people.
Oh no, she walked
So,
straight into class like I got some shit for y'all today.
I got something to say.
she be practicing, like writing the shit down. I'm like, wait.
She
Hold
was in her
on,
room in
let's
the mirror.
reel it back
She's in her
in,
room in the
girl.
mirror
You
going,
about
and
to
I'm gonna
get
break this one out.
into
She said, I'm gonna break this one out as soon as the test over.
I got something for y'all
Bro.
bitch asses.
I'm literally. So yeah, I will say you can care, but don't let people take advantage of you. And she's a genuinely nice kid. She is not a bad kid, but don't let people take your niceness for weakness. Okay.
So my mom, both my parents were real strict. And I definitely had those type of parents, which I think we probably, well, I don't know how y'all parents were, but my parent, it was like, be seen but not heard. Like I got in trouble, I had to shut the fuck up and take whatever it was. Like there was no going back and forth. And that shit tore my ass up as an adult. Cause I cannot, like, I hate dealing with conflict to this day. Cannot stand it. And they were so overly strict with me. They would take stuff from me. And I had so much stuff taken that I taught myself to not care about anything. Like I can't be attached to anything because I know it's gonna
take it away.
They're gonna take it, or if they see me excited about something, then they know that that's something that they can punish me with.
Damn, that's a hard one.
So that's still how I am now. Like I have a hard time.
Just sneak.
I didn't sneak. I literally just shut it off, and
I mean,
that's how I am.
That's a hard one to like deal in relationships with, though.
Yes,
like,
and I shut it off. Like I will literally completely.
And I am hype on Instagram and Twitter.
What the hell did the?
You could just Google my name, Hype, HYMPE. My Instagram, all my stuff comes right up. Popping out here in these streets.
Completely and totally shut my feelings off. Like as soon as I feel like somebody is doing some shit to me, like I feel like you trying to play me, it's gone. Like it's off. Like I can give you a little bit, but as soon as I see some bullshit, and it's so easy to just cut it. Like I'm done. And I feel I can be brokenhearted on the inside. But on the outside, nothing. Like you never existed. You didn't mean anything to me. Or this thing didn't mean anything to me. That shit is terrible. And I'm still trying to get out of it. Because I've kind of gotten out of the like shutting down. Like I used to shut down when it was time to communicate about something. I've gotten better about that over the years. Like I'm about to be 28 now. And I still struggle with it. But it's better. But that was the most negative thing I feel like with my parents. My parents never hit me, but I feel like they had my mind all fucked up. And
mentally fucking somebody is way worse than the physical.
Yes. It was,
like I said, that then it becomes the noise in here that you can't escape that.
We're talking about.
Yeah, a scar going to heal. A scar is going to heal. The scrape or a broken bone is going to heal. A mental scar, that joint is there.
Yeah, it don't go away, and you have to work around it. So my ass is in, and this is one thing Noelle gonna do is go the fuck to therapy. And I don't care if she not messed up yet. She gonna go before she get messed up, because I feel like I've been in therapy forever, trying to fix all the shit going on with me, because don't nobody else in my life want to take their ass and get their shit together. Nobody else want to go to therapy, not you. Nobody else.
I know.
My family, like nobody else is thinking about what they're doing. So I have to be the one. I gotta be the black sheep who cares about my mental health and the mental health of everybody around me.
I'm trying not to jump in here, but I gotta ask this because you brought this up. How do you deal in a relationship though? Now it's good to recognize that this is the hole in my relationship game. Shout out to my man Q Lewis. We did that one too, the hole in the relationship game.
Thank you.
When you recognize like, yo, this is a problem for me, like trying to connect to things emotionally, And I know that at any given moment things just go away from me, and it's just like, all right, well, I can get over it. So how do you connect with somebody then on that level? Because like if you feel like you starting to love somebody too much, you just gonna feel like, well, maybe this is about to pull away from me, so let me not even go there with this individual.
When it comes to relationships, when it comes to my friendships, I love real hard. When it comes to relationships, I don't get there. I can't really like care about somebody to the point that I love them. Like I have people that I have a lot of love for and I love them, but I don't love them enough to be in a relationship with them. And I can't remember the last time I felt so strongly about somebody I wanted to be in a relationship with them. Like at this point in my life, I don't really see myself getting married just where I am right now. And not to say it'll never happen, but I have so much shit to work through that there's no way that like the way that I'm able to disconnect and to act like I don't care about shit could ever be positive in a relationship. It just wouldn't happen. So I don't. That's the easy answer. I don't. I don't deal in relationships.
Copy that. Go ahead now. You was passing it on to your child.
And that's what we're not gonna do. That's why I'm in therapy. And that's the one thing that took me to therapy because I'm like, there's no way that I'm passing this shit like as much as I feel. And you know, even her being conceived was one of those things that re-traumatized me again. So I immediately got my ass into therapy after she was born. She was a newborn in therapy with me. And I just been working through it. Now I'm not at a point where I would be in a relationship, but I'm way better than I was with most of the relationships in my life in the past 3 years than I was before then. So we're working through it. We'll check back in a year and see where I'm at.
Copy that.
Good. They didn't fuck me up too that bad. They fucked me up pretty bad, but there was good. So I felt like my mom was real big on being like polite, thoughtful. My mom is very she's thoughtful and she's creative. Like she's one of those people who she'll say something to you and you'll say something to her and she'll remember it as like a gift for like 6 months from now. Like she's very and she's super
attentive.
You said what?
Attentive, like
yeah, she's super like she's detail oriented too. Like all of these things I feel like all play into her creativity and I have that for sure. Like I know that I got that from her. Like I can be super thoughtful when I want to be to people who I feel like I want to like. That's definitely one of my love languages is giving in that way, like being thoughtful, remembering something, and then doing for that person.
Shouts out to those givers.
Yeah, that can be good and bad, but yeah.
Yes. That's what I said. Shout out to those givers.
And I was taking care of my brother and my sister. So me and my sister are 12 years apart. Me and my brother are 16 years apart. I'm the oldest. And when I was 12, I was taking care of my newborn sister. Like those were my children. Like those were my babies. So I feel like I got a lot of my like nurturing spirit, which I think I might have had a little bit more of when I was younger. But a lot of that from her because I learned so much so young about being a caretaker. And I've been a caretaker all my adult life. I don't know if I got anything else good. I feel like that was enough. And for Noelle, I feel like I just want her to, my biggest thing with her is I want her to know that she can speak to me. Like that it's okay for her to say no. It's okay for her to have opinions about whatever it is that she has an opinion about.
Respectfully.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Right now, I want her to be respectful in general. But even if I want her to know that it's okay for her to disagree with me. And yes, respectfully disagree.
Disagree and disrespect is two different things. Like I can teach you that your opinion is valued, but there's also a certain line of respect that we have here that you don't cross. You can tell me that you disagree with what I'm saying and still be respectful in that manner.
Yeah.
Most people can't really like get through that line of disagree and still be respectful, especially with their kids.
Yeah, I want her to know that she can talk to me and that it's okay for her to tell people no. Because that's something I still struggle with because of that relationship as well. but I want her to know that it's okay for her to say no when, or to at least like feel like she has a valid no. Like know that how she feels is valid and that it's okay. And sometimes you do got to do shit that you don't want to do, and not like she gonna disagree with me on every little thing, but I want her to be able to talk to me at bare minimum, be able to have somebody who she can go to and talk to. Um, and I want her to have all those good qualities. I want her to be thoughtful and caring and giving and nurturing and all the above.
You want to play a clip?
I got a clip. Oh, the TikTok?
Yeah.
Hold on.
What you doing for Mother's Day, Hank? You told me, but tell the people.
Shouts out
Tell
to
the people
Amazon
how you
Prime.
forgot about Mother's Day.
He looked like
I
he
did
forgot
not
about
figure
the
what. How would I ever do such a thing like that with such a lovely and beautiful wife like I have?
Exactly.
My wife going to work, so I'm got the kids, and I'll put something together for when she get in the house to eat. She says she don't want to go out. Mothers, they be dumb crowded everywhere.
They do.
Yikes.
So we probably doing like a Wednesday or Tuesday type of situation
Right.
when
Right.
the, when the crowd then died down.
Jess invited me to her family's brunch. That's so sweet.
Aww.
I'm like, yes, yes. How come? Look, do I have to bring the baby?
I
Well,
said, oh, baby.
isn't she see everybody always try to make these plans on Mother's and Father's Day to get away from these babies. Who made you the mother or the father?
I made her the daughter. Okay, she didn't make me the mama.
Once you went push, she
I ain't
made
do
you the
that.
mom.
I ain't even have to do all that. All right,
Once they showed up with the machete and cut you from nipple to nipple, okay.
that is what that was for sure. Jesus, TikTok.
So we got a scenario for you.
All right,
If she can get it to
bear
play.
with me 1 second.
You already know I'm paid talent, always ready and prepared.
Okay. You have two books. One book is full of all the negative things everyone you've come in contact with has said about you. And the second book is full of all the positive things everyone you've come in contact with has said about you. Which one are you reading? You can only read one. You pick one up, and the second book vanishes. So you could only read one. And the book also has the names of who said what about you. Which one are you reading?
I'm gonna read the positive, and the reason I would say that is because you can never understand what somebody else feels about you. Like we could be the best of friends, but I don't really know what you think on the inside internally, like how you really feel. And if there's a book that tells me, okay, this is what everybody really thought the whole time, like yeah, I would take the positive over the negative. Like you use my name in damn near any circle, I ain't got no bad relationships with people. Like even if I don't fuck with somebody, you might not know that I don't fuck with you. Like so that negative book ain't gonna have but a page or two maybe. The positive book, like I want to know what my brother think
He
or
said
my
that's gonna be
cousin
a
think.
Bible. I know
Yeah,
that one's
that's
gonna be
going.
long.
That's what I'm saying. That one is going to be, you know what I'm saying, the yellow pages, but the negative book, that's going to be like the negative sheet. So like,
Mm.
I ain't reading that one. Fuck that one.
I kind of want
Jess,
to.
I believe she's looking. I believe she's looking at you, Jess.
I want to read the negative book. I want to see what all you bitches got to say about me, and we gonna determine at the end of this book we still friends. It's like I don't know. I feel like sometimes, but I don't want to read the negative book to in a nosy manner. Like, oh, I just want to know what you people been saying about me. But a lot of times it's hard to really know your negative traits. And I'd be curious as to what negative traits I may have that maybe I can work on those things that maybe it's something I'm really oblivious to and never realized like I did wrong by that person or whatever. So I kind of want to know the negative. Like everybody, you know,
I
you
don't.
you know, it's negative things about you that people think.
I don't.
And
I
I'd
don't
like to
think
know.
if you look at a book of negative stuff, though, I don't think most people is going to read this and look at it as a tool to grow or to work on yourself. you're gonna look at it as a way to go, oh, this bitch said this.
I mean,
Like,
I guess it's depending on what was said, but I'm also not completely oblivious to you. I feel like I shouldn't be blindsided by any of those negative comments. I feel like I
you
should.
should be. What do you mean?
I feel like I should be able to understand and take from that and be like, I can see how you felt that way. Because I do that with everything. When people, if it's a problem, even on the podcast, I can always see the other side. So I feel like it shouldn't be nothing in that book that is a negative comment that I feel like I can't understand why you thought that way for whatever reason.
You got a cousin who probably just don't fuck with you, and they
Bro,
probably roll their eyes
that's exactly what I said.
But
probably every
I
time they
probably
see
don't
you.
fuck with them back.
No, but
But
it
that's
might
what I'm
be your
saying.
favorite cousin. It might be your favorite cousin. And they like, this stupid motherfucking bitch. God damn, I hate her. Smiling in your face. Oh, girl. Oh,
They looking at you like, why is she over? Why the fuck? They looking at you at the cookout like, why is she in the potato salad? Like, get the fuck out of here. You know I don't want to even come over here with you.
Right.
Please move.
Oh,
Like,
I guess it's so hard for me to think that way because I don't operate like that. I don't fuck with you. I do not fake the funk. I can be cordial. I say this to Tashi all the time. I can be cordial, but you will never be in my immediate space and presence if I truly don't fuck with you like that. So if they got something in the book, then I don't like you neither.
But if it's somebody you do, girl, I was best friends with a bitch who hated my guts for years.
Then I'm glad that I read it because now you are no longer a part of. You're removed.
Yeah, but I
that's
just
what. I can't what about that one line where it said, and Tachi said, "Fuck you."
I would never say that.
I mean, she probably was not. Like, we're not about to sit up here and act like we ain't never thought some burnt shit about each other. We may not have said it, but
we're not. That I'm not gonna say. I might say I think she doing some weak ass shit or something like in the moment.
But then, all right, see, in this scenario, isn't that in the book though?
I'm not about to sit up here and be like, I ain't never had a negative thought about something you done did or said.
Right.
I may not have brought it to your attention, but I ain't gonna sit up here and make it seem like I ain't never thought some burnt shit.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying though. Ain't that what we talking about though? Like all of those things will be in this book. Like those times that you was mad, those times that y'all had that argument.
If I was mad, you as my friend should be able to see why I felt like that in that moment.
I need them to write out the whole situation.
Yeah, see, copy. That's what I was about to say, Touch. That's what I was about to say. The book, is the book gonna say August 12th? Remember that day. Remember that day. Y'all was at the party. Like, yeah, no. You be reading that book for the rest of your life.
Right. Like I need to hear all that shit. Play that shit back for me.
It'd be like she then text the other girl out of the group text. I hate this bitch.
Oh, that's so fucked up. I've been thinking that about my school group chat. Like
reading the positive group.
Hey, listen, in every group chat, there's a side group chat. Some of them you're in, some of them you're not. It just is what it is.
I mean, you got all of those people numbers, so that makes sense.
For me, it's the positive for sure. I can't stomach that shit. I can't stomach it. I cannot. I just did it again, and now you got me feeling. How my damn thing? I can't take it. I there's no way because I feel like I've been in that situation where I thought somebody loved me as much as I love them, and they did not, and they proved and showed me that they did not feel that way. And I was completely blindsided. You knew it
earlier?
Ignorance is bliss. Sometimes I would just
living in delusion.
But eventually it's gonna come out. But I feel like I could honestly live without knowing.
You talking about a cousin that hate me. They done hated me since forever.
But I feel like eventually it's gonna come out. Like eventually everything that's done in the dark does come to light. Eventually that person, that friend that I had was not my friend anymore. And I didn't know any of the conversation. I literally have no knowledge of what the issue is. But I feel like I don't want to hear every negative thing that like I said, my internal voice is already fucked up. Like it's not. I could not. I would be curled up in a corner somewhere, and I already have a mind that thinks that people think negatively about me. And I know I'm a good person. I know that people do talk and think highly of me, but in the back of my mind, I always have those thoughts that like somebody thinks something bad about me. I cannot have that shit verified. I can't. I wouldn't be able to. And I do feel
All
like
that would,
a positive book would prayerfully, it would be longer.
it would just turn the volume up on that noise in your head. Like,
Meh.
I would have to do positive. There's no way. And I would put that shit on my wall. I'm gonna blow it up.
Frame it. I'm gonna read it every day.
I'ma
Where's
read
the
it
affirmation?
every
You
day.
is smart. Use is kind.
I hope that every positive thing anybody ever says lands on that piece of paper for the rest of my life, and I can just look at it every day like they do love me. People do love me. Cause
one of them things I hate though, like man, don't give me all the positive shit when I'm dead because you wanted to make a nice Instagram post.
oh my god.
Like, it's a couple of them things in them situations I always say is one, my wife is not for the public. Don't go DMing my wife or writing nothing under none of those pictures to my wife about how we were so cool. If I ain't never tell her nothing about you and she don't know you, then just leave that where it is.
We was
You know what I'm
not
saying? You can pray for my family away from my wife's comments.
unless you had a bitch on the side. If you had a bitch on the side, she gonna come talk to you. What?
As I'm saying, I don't have anything on it. I don't have any sides or
Oh, I'm
anything
just
over
saying,
here.
in general,
But
if somebody
don't come to my page stealing my pictures so you can post these joints talking about how man that was my man and we went back to here, there, and wherever. If that's how you genuinely feel about me, then let me know that.
right.
Like, don't go having this elaborate long ass post on Instagram or on whatever's on wherever to whoever. Tell
I'm
me that.
all about that. Like I feel like while people are here, like I love to tell people how much I love them and what I appreciate. And I love that you do this, you do X, Y, Z. Like I love this about our friendship. I can do it now.
I
I'm not gonna
remember.
wait until you gone. I want you to know now.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a
Tell
phone.
me. Don't let me be in limbo. Don't let me have to crack open this book of positivity for me to know. Oh no, cuz fuck with me.
Right. Right.
I told y'all, like I said, a year ago we connected through some DMs, and I told y'all then, like, nah, I fucks with y'all. We gonna do some work, and we gonna do this, and we gonna do that. And ever since then, if I pull a different situation, first thing I tell yo, look, y'all want some guys, or y'all want some girls, what y'all want to talk about? Because I got folks here, there, and everywhere. But like I told you, if I tell you the best thing you could ever hear is, no, I got you. If I tell you that, then I really mean it, and I really got you. And if I'm calling you, if I'm hitting you, like another thing I always tell people, everybody don't get my phone number. So if I give you my phone number, I fuck with you. And when I'm calling you about these different situations, though, all I can do is tell you. Now, if you don't execute after that, ain't nothing I can do. But I'm a damn sure put you in a position because everything can't be about trying to hook the situation up for myself, trying to hook everything up for you. Sometimes it's like, oh no, we looking for some females. Okay, I'm not that guy, but I can get you somebody.
Well, Hank.
Yes.
Next time on the What Up Doe podcast, what's your jam of the week?
My man Feek Brown, on purpose, the joint that I had sent you a little minute ago. I will post that in my story the day that we put this episode out, and let everybody know and hear the song. On purpose, though, by my man Feek Brown.
All right, Feek.
My jam.
You know what my jam of the week is? I like Don't Stop Now.
Really?
She got the
that
she
damn
got the dance.
TikTok is everywhere.
She got the dance.
I
She
don't
got
know
the
how to
dance
do
going
it.
in there.
Like do something with the guns.
What's his name too? Let me throw this out there. Yo Gotti last album. What's the joint when he started off and he was like, can I speak out loud? Can I tell myself I'm proud? Because the week that came out was the week that I did my first live show.
Okay.
So sitting there thinking about like looking at people and bought tickets to come see you, you know what I'm saying? Paid talent. And it's like you looking at these people. If I was 8 tickets shy of a sellout. But if I sold 5 tickets, like you thought enough of me to spend your money to come out here, and I appreciate it. Like, so just even to look at a couple of people who bought some tickets and said that they wanted to come up here and see you, that made me think like, damn, I'm proud of myself for that one.
I want to thank me for
For
believing
Hey,
in me.
don't I?
Did you say yours already?
I like.
She did the whole dance and everything. She was.
Mine is Janet Jackson. "God Till It's Gone."
Sing it.
I'm gonna play it because I don't remember.
Gonna get us taken off. You
I'm
told me
just
to
gonna
stop.
clip.
She was like,
Girl,
stop
'cause you
playing
played the whole
songs.
song.
No, I didn't.
See, it's one thing about the What Up Doe podcast. You usually do get a little karaoke going. Can't nobody. I can't hear none. I can't hear none of that. I just see y'all lipping. Okay. Okay, there we go.
I
Is
was
this
not.
Miss Tashi? Is it Miss Tachi if you're nasty? Is that what this?
Oh,
You said what?
Miss Tashi, if you nasty.
Miss Walls, if you nasty.
Oh,
I ain't.
Wait. You always gonna say that when I say my last name. I had a nigga damn near fall the fuck out because the shit is nasty. It's not Miss Tashi, it's Miss Walls.
oh, excuse me. Better to have them than to not have them.
I'm give them the rundown. What's your schedule? Where can we find you throughout the week?
Damn, how you gonna ask me that after she just said that?
Because I knew her name was Wall.
Oh, damn.
Like that. Niggas hear that, they be like, your name is
So you said you need to you want the full week? You need the full week schedule?
Rundown. Monday.
All right.
GFT
I'm saying.
Radio.
Mondays is actually the E Block Radio Network. Shout out to my niggas in
That's what
Detroit.
I meant.
E Block Radio Network every Monday at 2 o'clock. GFT Radio Network every Tuesday at 2 o'clock. Wednesdays is the 216 The Blend. That's 8 a.m., 8 p.m. Thursdays, WTNUphilly.com, 1230. Fridays is the I Say Podcast Radio Network. Shout out to my man is on this week's episode. 10 a.m. on the I Say Podcast Radio Network. And we close the week out on Saturday on the THC Media at 10 a.m. every Saturday. Sundays, we are still looking to fill in the slot, y'all. It is at I Am Hype on Instagram and Twitter. Sunday morning on your way to church or on the way out of church, however you like to work that situation out, is all fine by us over here at the How to Hustle Podcast. Also, Custom Hustle World, though. Shouts out to Detroit, though, too. Like I said, I love about Detroit. The first jacket that I sold from Custom Hustle was from somebody from Detroit. Shout out to my man Ansar. Unlikely Connections had got the jacket from me. But yeah, custom jackets, custom sweatsuits, custom baseball and basketball jerseys. However you need it, we will make it happen. At Custom Hustle World on Instagram and Twitter. And if you, like I said, don't want it to sound like this, but it is what it is. Google my name, HYMPE. It's hype, it's not hype. I'm not geeked up.
Not geeked up.
5 stars only, no 4s. 5 only.
Don't like 4s. Just
10 stars. Do it twice.
Hey, copy that.
Well, Hank, thanks for finally joining us, getting us over this fear of us not wanting to record. It'd be me. I don't be wanting to do it, but we're trying. We're gonna keep trying.
Gotta venture out, make yourself a little uncomfortable.
On any time, hit us with a what up, though, on the count of 3.
1, 2, 3. What up, though?
What up, though? Hey.
Phew. I don't think you ended it.
It's still going.
Oh.